So let's get the two lot lines out.
So the first one is the block.
I have them all there.
Of the.
TV working.
Yeah, no, I had that working before. Okay, are you ready, Maren?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. Just making sure she's ready first before we start. Okay.
Okay, call to order, guys. I apologize to everybody that has been waiting. We were trying to get our audio up and running and going, and we had some technical difficulties. Let us do the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Deanna, roll call, please.
Chair Lindstrom.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Bucklinger. Here. Mr. Sarofsky.
Here.
Mr. Finsky. Ms. Maloney.
Here.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to talk loud,
Okay.
okay?
Quickly, the announcement and communications, we don't have anything except, I will make a motion to cancel our August 31st workshop meeting. I can't believe it's August 31st already. Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Same. Trainings, Brianna has been pumping you guys fast and furiously full of training email. So nobody has an excuse for not, and Mike has been forwarding a lot of them also. Everybody's done everything online. Everybody should have their 4 credits and more, because it's awfully easy to do them when they are online. Action on the minutes, I did not see anything problematic or anything that stood out from the July 10th. Anybody else have any?
Yeah, I believe my name right after I'm not present appears as if I voted in one of the bits of the minutes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, see if you can find it and change it. I don't have them in front of me now, but when I looked at them last
It's not on
night,
the TV, it's coming through my computer. I don't know why, when I open Zoom, it's there, so I'm sorry. It is, no, we tried that last meeting, yeah. This is what we have. I'm sorry.
okay, so as I said, it's in there somewhere, but I definitely didn't vote at the last meeting.
All right, so let us, I make a motion then to accept meetings amended to remove any site, shape, or color of Brian having voted at the last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Then, abstain. All right, first application is Mark Grosso. It's planning board 2020-05 for a lot line revision between Mr. Grosso, Scott Field, and Roseanne Sasso. Basically, he is taking, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Grosso, part of a parcel, which is 4.685 acres.
Let me get him unmuted.
Okay.
Mark, hang on one second, Martin.
Yes,
Mark
sir.
Grasso, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Apologies for the delay here.
No problem.
He is taking a 4.685 acre lot and transferring 0.66 acres to another parcel and 0.85 acres to another parcel called parcel A and parcel C. All of it brings them into better compliance, making all of the lots bigger. You can see on there's a large map there and another map that it's relatively self-explanatory that it moves the lot lines and makes nice square
So we started with 2 parcels before, or we started with 3 and we're moving?
We started with 3 parcels, correct? And we're adding on, we're taking away from 1 parcel and adding, so it's parcel B, which is the old parcel, and that is giving parcel to A, and that is giving parcel to C. A and C are getting more land, and B is losing some land.
Like, so B used to go around A and C, and that's the line that was deleted. And then A and C were divided down the middle there, something like that.
Mark, just curious, are you able to hear the audio?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I'm
Thank you.
here too. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
Hey, this is Terry Ringler. I'm here too.
okay, Terry, thank you.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You've got a line, parcel, the line down along the bottom that's to be deleted. And then you have the new line that goes up, making parcel C a larger parcel
Muted.
and making parcel A a larger parcel. So parcel A wraps around more, correct, Terry?
Yeah, essentially. Parcel A was a small lot. It was just a little L-shaped lot there that went around parcel C. We're taking some approximately 40 feet, 41 feet from the frontage of parcel A and giving that to parcel C. And parcel A is getting a portion of parcel B to enlarge that lot from 1.05 acres to 1.711 acres to make it more buildable and conforming. So really all we're doing is we're increasing parcel A and parcel C and decreasing parcel B by about 1.5 acres. Excuse me, 0.7 acres.
1 acre,
So everything is now compliant.
exactly. Everything, I mean, it's pretty,
Right.
yep.
Why this line goes here, not?
I think because all the buildings are on what's now C, and that will probably become a driveway to C. And then A will have its own access to the house later in the whole one.
The setback line. It's a setback line.
No, that's the property line. There's the town property.
That's the property line,
That's the
exactly.
The town
That
property
right
line
there
is
is
just-
the property line, and that's town owned.
Or town. Yeah, town.
I guess the only question is, if there were to be new access onto towpath for parcel A, because the other road there, that's a driveway, is there enough frontage on towpath for a driveway? I guess there will be, because it's on the intersection.
I can't hear you well enough to understand what you've asked.
You gotta talk,
Terry, for parcel A, if they wanted to
Yeah.
pull a driveway onto towpath, that's got 50 feet of footage, correct?
It's got 67.49 feet of frontage.
Perfect, thank you. Hey, get your cheerleader voice going.
And I had a question, this other way. So Pratt, how come Pratt owns property here? You still own Pratt, HAB?
That, I don't know where you saw that.
I saw it on deed. On the deed. He's buying property from Pratt.
if it was on a deed, something may have changed since that deed. There may be a new, yeah.
Because there's
I-
not any ownership of the property right now. It's just moving a lot lines around, so, right, so exactly, there's no,
Because it's a needed, deed for the ownership.
yes, exactly. Any more questions?
It's pretty good.
Then I will make a motion to certify the lot line adjustment. A second? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain. All right, you will have your certificate here, Mr. Grasso.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your help on this.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
And Terry, you know, Terry's on. He knows all the, how many meetings right now. The next is planning board 2020-01, Adam and Jamie Paddock and Borrego Solar.
Yep, hang on, I got two new people who just came into the meeting. Let me get them in. Okay, Brandon, now finally, it took me a bunch of meetings, but I know who you are and which application you're for.
Hi, good evening.
So you guys remember this? This was the driveway going through the two properties, and it was making a non-compliant lot more non-compliant. So they went to the ZBA and had to get an area variance, which we got, which is in the pack. And other than that, nothing has changed on the plans, correct, from the first time you were in?
That is correct. The plan has not changed. So it's still just simply moving the property line, making one parcel slightly larger while one's reducing in size.
They're just moving the line.
You're
so that-
exactly, you're moving.
This line over here. And also this whole right away now.
So the driveway's all on one property.
Yep.
This is a-
Yeah, right now, the access easement for the solar facility
non-compliant, so that's
is
why
split
they-
between the two.
And the ZBA gave them an area variance, so that's their jurisdiction, so it's sort of a moot point,
Sort of done.
it's sort of done.
Just had to come back to you for,
We had to come back for the official. So I'll make a motion to certify the lot line adjustment for Borrego / the Paddocks.
So can I just
Yeah.
confirm though, so on the, like the same thing with the road frontage question, it's now less than 50 feet, but it's like a moot point because it's an existing driveway and because they have a variance for this new lot.
Well, they do have more than 50 feet.
No, on the smaller lot, well, maybe I'm not reading the
They
map
gotta expand
correctly.
over 100 feet.
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
I'm reading the distance to the property line.
Exactly, both of these are big enough, they've got,
Sure, I'm having
Yep.
a problem with 95.
Plus the width of the house, they got that 100.
yeah, they got plenty.
Yeah, it was not a frontage issue, it was just purely an area issue. So the frontage setbacks, those are all compliant. It was purely, the area that we needed a variance for granted.
So we're in static here, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Against, abstain. All right, that's taken care of, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks.
All right, next on the docket is planning board 20-20-02, a special use permit with public hearing and continued application for William. So how do you say your name correctly? Is it Cafiero or Cafaro?
Pharaoh,
Cafaro. So that I is just like a silent I that I keep saying.
correct.
Sorry about that.
Bill, who else, is there somebody else online with you that I should be unmuting?
Yes, please, Matthew Town.
Oh, there he is, and he is unmuted. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
He's the engineer with Willingham Engineering. So this is the application for construction of 1,250 square foot deli with drive-through capabilities. This is at the old site on site of the Rainbow Diner
You only have one now?
at 6122 County Route 209.
Not that big.
The map is totally updated except for the comments that came in from the county. This is, I believe, if you look on your Google Drive and see, this is the last meeting.
Right.
There was nothing else that needed to be updated except we'll address we have a letter and it addresses the comments of the on the planning board and also something I spaced out on saying in the last meeting.
But there was a comment to make the future also to the road where we make it the same.
Couldn't hear that.
We have a map somewhere
We have a comment.
which, Matt, you know what it is? We have, and I saw the map before where you took out the 3 of the trees.
Mhm. Yeah, we got them out of the right of way.
Exactly, come out the right of way, which those are gone. Those are all gone, Jerry, but I don't know why the map isn't the one that we have here.
So the revision date should be July 21st.
Pardon?
The revision date should be July 21st. See in the border at the bottom, kind of between the logo and the.
You know what, guys, if you go on your computers, Matt, I saw it, hold on a second.
I didn't see it. I don't see
If you go in one of the letters and you page down in one of the letters, it is attached in.
A few days ago, I didn't see it.
So we have June 29th, Valley rendering.
So July 21st is when I forwarded it to Brianna.
Yeah, it was up there and sometimes things fall off of Google Drive and I saw it, Matt, with the trees. out.
Yeah.
You have something more up to date, guys. Brianna's gonna go see if she can either re-upload it. It's a technical issue. I mean, I don't know why things fall. We had something else fall on Google Drive. We're having a very bad technical day today.
Hmm.
So yes, the things that we spoke of and the trees have been removed in the right of way, as we spoke of.
So how many trees are remaining? 4, 2, 3?
There's one tree that was remaining right on the road. All the other trees in the right of way were removed.
And the right of way is the right of way that's on the map up front? Is that the correct?
Correct right of way goes along the edge of the property.
On the right.
On the right, it goes on the right, on the edge of the property, while they're using a drive, which comes off of that right of way on the side. So the property is set up now that if the right of way that is the legal right of way needed to be clear and free access, it's able to be clear and free access. But it also sets up the option that if they want to keep using the gravel road as it is, they can still use it because that's the sort of the habit.
So the legal right of way is along the property line on the right.
Yes.
But they
Yeah,
have the.
we're on the June 29th upload where it shows those 3 trees. Those 3 trees were in the right of way, so we asked them to remove them. They did, but somehow that map is missing from
Exactly. That
the
map
Google
is up on
Drive.
the Google Drive. It's off. Brianna is trying to upload it again right now in her office so that everybody can see it. But they did submit one where that was removed.
All right, so the legal right of way required the absence of the trees. And then it ends with as a fence, so that obviously can't be used. So the only one that they can really use, unless they remove the fence, is what they have been using, which is not the legal right of way.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if in the future they wanted to take the fence down, we now have a legal right of way, which is
All right, so is all that gonna be, is all that written in the, on the map, in the documentation, so that there's no confusion about who's using what and when? If the applicant turns around and says, look, there's a legal right of way, you move your fence, you can't use, he says you can use it, he's saying that you can use it, but where is it written that it can be used?
well, there's
Gotta be
a
on the
degree
map.
of their having to write a right of way contract between themselves. That's not our business, but the business of us is
That's something that already exists.
to an interior parcel behind the proposed restaurant. The right of way extends along the periphery of the northeastern property line. The current condition has a gravel driveway indicated on the site plan used as a right of way. The applicant proposes keeping the gravel drive right of way use as it is, but to leave the legal right of way undeveloped in the case it is used in the future.
That's gonna be written in the agreement.
No, that's gonna be, we can put that in a
That's
decision.
in the decision.
Oh, okay.
I just read you from, no, you haven't been there yet. It was easier to
You
read.
didn't have public hearing yet.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
If it's approved, that will be part of the approval.
Exactly.
Pardon.
You shouldn't sit all the way far away if you can.
I'm part of your.
So
Okay, so as long as
it
the,
will be written into our
Okay.
decision, these facts that you have a right of way that must be clear if they want to use it. But at the same time, you can still use the right of way that by habit people have been using. So yes, that will be written in that you have sort of a dual right of way situation right now. So everybody can go to Brianna's computer and look at the new pictures.
Also, email it to us?
Is it?
I can
It's
email it. It like,
have
it
cocktails,
like will not load. It's like circling and circling. I live on my laptop and find the email he sent me because I can't even do it from my computer. No.
Because in that, I believe also that shows the rendering where the two treatments of two different surfaces on the front side and back, and the little, what are the dormers or gables that go out over the windows are repeated on the north side and on the back side. Also, it also shows that they moved the crosswalk so it lines up with the actual door going out, because that was off. They changed it to make sure it's 209, not 208, but so they did address everything that we
so is
discussed.
this the correct fascia of the building?
No.
Yes, but that, if you look at this side, it doesn't have the same look as in front, you see?
Right.
And that is now continued on the side there,
Okay,
and the same thing on the back.
okay.
So it
this
is,
is,
here's the new one.
so that's the benefit.
That's the back.
Where's the process?
That's the benefit.
You can see the continues on all the sides, except for the one that is a little, like, into the kitchen, and that, and this is not the landscaping, it's just a rendering.
No,
There's
that's.
big bushes that are there.
And that's the colors that you meant to, that's blue?
We have not asked that question, but the roof is gonna be changed anyway, but it could be. Do you know your color scheme for the roof and for the walls by any chance?
I thought this could be, no?
All right, talk to the microphone, not the TV.
I'm like, it's hurt.
Working on it?
Matt,
So,
Matt/Bill, do you know your color scheme at this point for the roof and for the walls?
Bill, do you know?
Well, we're honing in on it, and they're going to be earth tones, so, but not exactly.
Okay, they're going to be earth tones.
not what we see in the picture.
So not the blue that you see in the picture for the roof?
No, probably not. It might be a darker blue is what we're thinking about.
That's not an earth tone blue.
What is it? The ocean's the earth?
Sleep.
Thank you.
Are you talking about a slate color or?
Yes.
Is it going to, since the roof is changing, are you thinking of doing a standing metal then, so it can be blue?
Yes.
I mean, standing metal is perfectly nice roof.
Blue makes. Okay. Blue makes it look like Disneyland. Earth tones are not the blue that's in this picture. That's not an earth tone. Maybe that blue is off. Maybe it's a slate. That would be an earth tone. That looks like a Audible blue.
We can write down dark blue in the decision. If you want dark blue, we can write down dark blue.
You can always
Well, this
wait-
actually-
you can always wait till next month. You're making
In-
changes
I
to the
know.
roof.
In the old picture, that looks fine. It's not, that's a little garish in the new picture.
You guys have any other, well, we figured this out a bit because we have to do seeker and we have to go to a public hearing and see what everybody, if anybody else has a commentary on.
I feel like we should do the speaker and open the public comment, and then if we want to circle
That's what I'm pushing for. Thank
back
you.
around.
Um,
I agree with Rick about the color, like, we probably don't love blue, but I don't know how much that affects us.
Okay, well, so guys, for seeker, Mary Lou, if you're still with us,
I
I
am.
looked at this and said this will be typed as a type 2 for seeker because of seeker type 2 C9, construction or expansion of a primary or accessory apartments, non-residential structure or facility involving less than 4,000
4,000
feet of gross floor space would need no further action.
That is true, but we're also doing
Figured it out.
more than that.
What more?
Well, you're putting in the entrances and exits. I know there's some there already. You're doing the landscaping. I think that to be safe, I would call it unlisted. I don't think that, and do an uncoordinated review.
All right. I will defer to you on that. Then I'll make a motion that we type this an unlisted, uncoordinated.
Second?
That's a roll call vote.
Mr. Lindstrom,
Yep.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yep.
Mr. Buckbinder,
Yes.
Mr. Zarowski. Mr. Kinsey,
Yes.
Ms. Maloney.
Yes.
All right, guess what, guys? I conveniently have here a purple heart go through. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? No. Will the proposed action result in a change of use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
Right.
Yes.
Actually, it is changing. It's changing it from a paved parking lot to something useful.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Well, it's no or small impact.
No, we're
It
small.
would be no to small, so they're the same category.
I mean, well, it's a yes, small, but you're saying yeah, no to small.
It's a nitpick, but
I agree. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? It is not in a critical environmental area. Will the proposed action result in adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? Small impact. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Small impact. Actually, with all of the trucks there and the high wires, it's probably less. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies? Small or no. Public water, wastewater treatment utilities? No. Small. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No, we're small. They already had a diner there and it's getting more grass and more trees and more stuff to limit drainage. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources and human health? No. So based on the fact that it was small, no, or small impacts across the board, I would say that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and hence a negative declaration. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Chair Lindstrom,
Yes?
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Buckbinder,
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Mr. Pinsky,
Yes.
Ms. Malone.
Yes.
All right, so we have a neg deck on how to change that in the decision. And why don't we open the public hearing and hear what the public has to say now regarding this? I will give the public hearing rules of the road to anybody who would like to speak on this. You have 7 minutes to speak. You are speaking to the board, not to the applicant, and bring up any questions, concerns, positive ideas, anything you might have that the board might not have considered. And it's not a question and answer period, it's just a period where the public brings up things that they think we might not know about or might not have considered.
Okay, so let's find out who's here. So the person with the phone number ending in 3059, are you here to speak on this one?
Yes, I am. So I sent an email because. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
So, yeah, so I sent an email to address this issue. And I know that the right of way was discussed. I didn't really, it's very difficult to hear exactly what what the outcome was.
I know, this is where we're electronically challenged over here. I will answer that because we did discuss it. The outcome was that the legal right-of-way that goes on the northeastern side will be kept open in case it needs to be used in the future, but the right-of-way that you are quote-unquote default using now, which is the gravel driveway, will also be kept open for access.
So the current access to my property will remain the same.
Yes.
Do I have that correct?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Because, and I said, it might be easier if I just, my understanding was there was a time to send email. So I sent an email. So that was my first issue. I know in the last meeting, go ahead.
David, right? Yes. David, if it's easier, I can read the email to the board because it is somewhat easier.
Yeah, because that's going to be that's probably the second, because that just takes my two concerns. And yeah, that's probably better. If you want to start there, we'll go there.
Perfect.
No.
So we went through all of this, guys. The current site plan has been continued to use the current access to my property. Plan on the deed right. Remove those trees that was discussed the last. Those were unclear. Although the current plan, as we are writing this decision, they will be able to. Oh.
Are you trying to watch this on the YouTube at the same time, sir?
I am not.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
So both of the drives will remain available for access. And he says, I just want transparency and have the latest plans related to the right of way now in the future. So both right of ways will stand in existence.
From the applicant, why his attorney wrote to tell.
Well, if we're making a decision, the decision stands. So we can really go into this. That's water under the bridge. I also know that park rides would have headlights. By allowing parking in that area, which would also impact my property. Possible solution. Property. This is a zero impact. My answer to that, and there's zero.
What's your answer to it, Mary?
Is they did it, it's not like property edge. So this is-
Somebody's got the.
I don't know what the problem is, Rick. I'm trying to solve it, okay? Sorry.
We mute that one.
That's the applicant. So try again.
So we. Pardon?
It's us. Feeding back some. I understand.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's working. That's not what's causing it.
So who's the 305 number?
That was the person who was speaking.
I would try muting them. Yeah, I think it's feeding back through their thing somehow.
Okay.
So due to the technical disaster we're having this evening, sorry, David, we muted you for a second here so everybody can hear. So the first issue has been addressed here, everybody. We have the 2 right-of-ways taken care of. The second issue with the lights, they did a photometric study, and there is no light spillage beyond our code outside of the edge of the property. So we should not have a problem with that. And also, we did not, I'll bring this up after we go through the rest of the public hearing. I'm gonna unmute him again. David, do you have any further observations? David, do you have any further observations beyond what you had in your email?
Well, it's like I said, I mean, I don't know, I guess the plans that I saw are old plans, so I haven't seen the revision plan. No, I guess I don't. It's very difficult to kind of follow what's going on. COVID's made this very difficult.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully when we read through and go through more of this, hopefully you'll get clarity. The right of way has been solved. And we will write in the decision that you will be able to use your current drive as it is. And regarding the lighting, they did a photometric analysis that you do to see that the light does not spill. We have code that you cannot go over a certain level of light at the periphery of the property, except for the entrances, and any of the lighting that they have proposed brings it down to 0 spillover, so you should not have a problem with lighting in outside of the periphery of the property.
Okay.
Anybody else on Mr. Caparo's?
Let me find out. Jacqueline Post, that's Nodar. Okay, Robert Christian is applicant. Peter McAuliffe. Okay. Bill Eggers, I guess everybody else is applicant, so that's it.
All right, guys, basically, the most important person is the person who is nearby here. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain. All right, there were comments that you might have seen from the Ulster County Planning Board. One of the comments was that they need final Department of Transportation driveway approval. Obviously, I put that in that I agreed with the idea of doing that. The second comment was the to-go sign that was above did not meet our sign code. Your sign cannot go above the pitch of the roof line. if you see the last letter that they sent us, the to-go sign is going to be on the front facade. So they resolved that and they're going to do a pitched roof line. And so so you do not have the flat roof. To the credit of the architect, we say you need to use the style of the surrounding area. So she took the style of the Quick Mart, PW Mart across the street. And I conferred with the engineers and Mr. Caparo saying, we'd sort of like to get to an improved looking as opposed to what is existing, and they were amenable to do a pitched roof. We do not have pictures at this point on it. So you will have to trust in making a decision that, or you will have to push it to the next month if you need to see the roof. And there's X numbers of pitched roofs.
Yeah, but then I'm confused with the discussion, color, that border.
The border will not be there anymore.
Okay.
There will be no border.
So it's irrelevant to discuss.
It's irrelevant to discuss blue or blue, you're going to have a roof like this, or a shed roof.
Red, black.
It will be
Metal roof, right?
a metal roof, exactly, of a darker blue.
So do we have any of that in documents that's just not in the Google Drive, or is that all from communication?
You have it in the Google Drive.
No, I mean, I understand that. I'm uncomfortable moving to a decision without having seen those things myself. Not that I distrust anyone involved, just I don't want to vote on something if I haven't seen it. I understand we're having technical problems. I'm just trying to see if there's a way, like if we have the documents in our possession, but they're in digital no man's land, like is there maybe there's a way I just don't want to move into a decision without having looked at the stuff that we're talking about.
I kind of agree with that.
But if we
I was
have
ready to
them,
approve this tonight, but without the final on the structure.
can you try email them to us?
You do not have a picture. You will not see so then we're going to have to push this to the next meeting.
You have 62 days to make a decision. So you're expecting a new visual on the sign and on the roof and on the colors. So I would recommend that you ask the applicant to get those in the next couple weeks, so everybody has time to review these things that we've already discussed and, kind of indicated that the board wants. And then you'll be in a position to vote at the September meeting.
Because what you have, guys, is a letter, exactly, and it says, this letter serves to inform the board of the applicant's intention to redesign the proposed building roof line and building mounted sign, which will be shown in submitted building elevation drawings. The redesign is proposed to meet all architectural requirements stipulated in the Ulster County Planning Board's latest review letter, which references the town of Rochester zoning code. The building elevation drawings will be revised to relocate the building mounted sign from its present location to a wall-mounted sign located on the front of the building between the proposed windows. The building attached sign will be located such that no proportion is projected beyond the building. The building roof style will also be revised in accordance with the Ulster County Planning Board's letter, which blah, blah, blah. The alternate roof should be considered. So all you have is the verbiage. You will not be able to see it. So do you want to push it? Next meeting?
Where's that verbiage from?
That was, I don't know why nothing is up on Google Drive, guys. I don't know.
We don't, can I speak for a minute?
Yes, Matt, please.
Yeah, we haven't, since we received the Ulster County planning comments, we didn't have enough time to fully develop the new renderings of the building showing the revised roof and the revised sign location. But I mean, it's gonna be a pretty standard pitched gable roof. It's going to be metal with a dark blue, and the wall sign is just going to be between those two front windows. I'm hoping that we can get some kind of conditional approval if possible. There doesn't seem to be too much more to review.
For the 4 years, Matt, I understand where you're coming from, but Madam Chair, for the 4 years, 5 years, whatever I've been here, we've never voted on an approval for anything without seeing it with its final changes. It's just, we've never done that, and I would have to abstain, honestly.
I'm fine with that. I'm just, we're discussing.
So I just got, Brianna just sent me an email, so I now have at least the site plan, which reflects the changes. I mean, I guess I'm, the stuff with the roof and the sign, like that, I'm a little more comfortable with, because that's renderings. The site plan revision with the trees, like, I now have that in front of me, because Brianna just sent it to me, she can send it, I don't know if you did send it.
No, I got it, I'm looking, but it's still rendering is old.
But the rendering isn't, like, we don't approve architectural plans, we approve that the design of the building meets our building,
Standards.
our zoning standards, which are,
So if the color
I
was,
don't want to be excessively legalistic about it, but those are separate questions in my mind. Like, you can make a really ugly building that meets our code.
we don't have the final material for us
Yeah.
to consider, nor even for the public to include in any public comments they may have. We just don't have the final material.
Well, we now close the public hearing. So
No, that's true.
that's a moot point.
We didn't have it for that.
All right, guys, hey, anybody else? You're a no, right, Dorian? You're a no.
I would be willing to be a yes if we had some kind of a document stating that the changes would be applicable to what we were asking for.
Yeah, and I think that was in the letter that I provided, where I'm kind of referencing all the codes and applicable standards. That
Yeah,
were-
we sent a letter to everybody.
Yeah, the one from the.
The one that was from August 10th.
Yeah, I sent that out today.
So that's where it says, the building elevation drawing will be revised to relocate the building mounted sign from its present location, currently projecting above the building roof line, to a wall mounted sign located on the front of the building between the proposed order windows. The building attached sign will be located such that no portion is projecting beyond the building, specifically above the roof line, and all other applicable regulations noted in 140-21 of the town code are met. So does the sign doesn't cause a problem, correct?
I don't have anything on it. I don't know.
Oh my God, can we cancel the entire meeting and just,
Just delay it till September.
Which we're not doing.
We really have no work on
Yeah.
Matt, Bill, we're gonna have to push this till September because we seem to have an impasse here. And when you have the architectural rendering, it should be relatively quick because that's how everybody will be able to look at it and make an opinion. And everything else is fine. Correct, everybody? We have no other problems? So we'll be able to look at it and move forward as the first agenda item? The only thing we could do, guys, if you wanted to do this as a workshop meeting and we uncancel the workshop meeting, we do this in 2
I'd
weeks.
be willing to uncancel the workshop. Move this forward, sure.
All right, I make a motion to uncancel the workshop meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Against? Same. So, as a best case scenario, Matt, Bill, if you can be able to get this actual renderings in 2 weeks, correct? And then on the 31st of August, we can meet and make a decision.
Thank you.
It'll be just 2 weeks from now as opposed to a month from now.
And that meeting starts at 6:30, Mary?
And that starts at 6:30, yes.
Thank you very much.
We'll be pretty much the only person on the agenda.
Do it by Zoom.
And it'll be done by Zoom, so this isn't a mess again. With cocktails.
Yeah, I'm in. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, guys. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Everything today, but I don't know why it's not.
Next on the agenda is, which hopefully goes better,
It's still getting better. Today.
is 2020-03 for a minor subdivision for Francis and John Nodar, applicant and owner. As you remember, these guys are 60.4 acres. They are carving off a piece in front, which is a little over 8 acres. And that's to keep the single-family dwelling that is already there, with existing well and septic already there. The rest of the parcel is to remain as is. It is DEC managed. We have the DEC deeded contract as part of our packet, and that will remain the same. You also have the latest map. Hopefully you can find that.
That one is on Google Drive. It's easy to do it now, but
Can everybody find that? We don't have paper, or do we have paper?
I do, but not with the revisions.
Why don't you bring the one out without the revision in case people can't see it up close? The only revision, we have a revision of 8.7. We have a revision of 8.10. The 8.10 added the last part of revisions that he had forgotten to do, which stumps everybody to have all of the properties across the road on the map.
Is this the latest and greatest? Green?
No, it does not have the 8.10. We don't have a paper. You will not have the properties across the road on this. Everything else is the same. The way it is cut up.
Yeah.
But what you need to see for the subdivision is exactly the same, no change.
I'm going to run into the same issue where the paperwork that we have is not the paperwork that we're approving, which seems to be the problem.
Well, we have the paperwork right here. It's right here online. You're looking at it. Fine. We have it.
Just adding the names, you can authorize Maren to verify they're there.
I'm
Yeah.
more than willing to do that. It's just that.
I see what you're saying, that we're not gonna run into the same.
scenario.
So we have and it's also the same thing that you can make a conditional approval that says that you must have the names across the street added. It's like if they provide the north facing arrow, you can make a conditional improvement that says with addition to.
So on Google Drive, it was, what is it, 710, 810?
8.10.
That one's on it.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, Brianna, what does she hear? Right?
No, it's 8.7.
So.
Okay,
the-
I'm
so
looking
fully-
at, I'm looking at the same date, that people who make documentation, don't put any reviews, nothing.
He dropped them off to me on Friday, and then he emailed me this morning and said that he had forgotten a couple of the names, and he sent me the revision, but he didn't have time to drop them off to me physically, but since it was on Google Drive,
Right, okay, but on Google Drive, I don't see what the reason that except that.
Here, come here. Not your phone, come here, right here. That. You have all the people across the street.
that was the only thing.
That's what we needed, the people across the street. We required the people across the street. He added
Thank you, madam.
all of these guys over
Thank you,
here.
madam.
All right, before we open the public hearing, this is a subdivision. We need to do seeker. I would make a motion to type this as an unlisted, uncoordinated seeker action.
Second that.
Roll call. There's a roll call in here still?
Chair Lindstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Buckbinder,
Okay.
Yes.
Mr.
Got his
Saraki,
hand raised.
Yes.
Mr. Pinsky,
Yes.
Ms. Maloney.
Yes.
All right. For the Nodars. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No to small impact. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and fail to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation and renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies or public-private wastewater treatment facilities? Neither. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. So based on the fact these are all no's or small impacts, non or no small impacts, I would say that this is proposed action is will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and hence a negative declaration. So the second?
Second.
All in roll call?
Chairman Stone,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Jones.
Yep.
Mr. Buckbinder. Mr.
He
Thoreau.
raised his hand.
I saw.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Kinsey.
Yes.
Ms. Maloney.
Yes.
All right, any more questions on the subdivision? We had asked for the stream to be put there, it's on, and we had also asked for the ACOE wetlands to put on there, they're almost entirely in the subdivided off piece, so they're on there, we're not encroaching on that. So I'm going to open it up for public hearing. First, I want to read a letter that we received. My name is Rachel Willard. I am contacting on behalf of my grandmother, Lucille Willard, who lives at 333 City Hall Road in Burlington. She would like to make the following complaint statement. My only concern regarding the Nodar subdivision is the Millbrook stream that feeds the pond in my front lawn. It also, at least on the New York property, is a trout stream. Because of this, I was denied dumping soil into the stream in order to deter leaks a few years ago. I would like to know if this issue can be resolved, as I would like to avoid having a swamp in my front yard. Respectfully, Lucille Willard. Unfortunately, that is outside of the purview of this subdivision. Anybody else that would like to speak on this application?
There's nobody here other than applicants, so.
Can I make a motion to close the public hearing? All in favor? Aye. Against? Abstain.
All right.
There's our guy. I have a decision.
All right.
We have decision copies for everybody.
Please don't dump topsoil into streams, whether they're trout streams.
Well, they're not, so if the person
Yeah,
next
they're
door
not
has
doing
got a
it.
problem.
Just anyone.
Anyone, don't
Anyone
dump,
who's watching this on YouTube,
Don't waste topsoil.
don't waste good topsoil in a stream, with trout especially.
No, okay.
It is planning board 20-20-03, a subdivision for the Nodar subdivision for Francis and John Nodar, who are the owners, and conditional final approval. Findings of the planning board. The planning board received zoning referral for a minor subdivision from the code enforcement officer. The applicant met with the planning board and presented the subdivision map for review. The parcel is an R5 zoning district. The applicant proposes a subdivision of SBL 68.3-1-33.1 plus or minus 60.4 acre lot into two lots. Lot 1 of plus or minus 52 acres is managed by the DEC and will retain these rights. Lot 2 of plus or minus 8 acres is to maintain the existing single-family dwelling, a double wide, with existing well and septic. The existing plat is filed with the Ulster County Clerk. The current use of the parcel is residential and woodlands. Town of Rochester R5 zone districts are rural conservation districts which are intended to conserve large open areas of the town while allowing for very low density residential development. The board encourages the applicant to preserve the existing natural resources and woodlands as per subdivision code guidelines stated in TOR zoning code 125-21 and 125-22. Additionally, an Ulster County Habitat Core area and a named stream, Mill Brook, are found in the rear of the proposed remaining parcel. ACOE wetlands are found at the front of the parcel and are to be almost fully included in the new plus or minus 8.484 acre lot. The planning board discussed the preservation of the habitat lands in the regular public meeting of 7/13/2020 and expressed the preference that no development occur within the habitat core area and that the new remaining lot remain within DEC management. This will be a condition of approval. Existing site conditions include a single-family dwelling with water, septic, and accessory structures which are to remain within the new proposed lot of plus or minus 8.48 acres. The application was determined to meet the requirements of an unlisted seeker action. A negative declaration was determined. Upon review, a public hearing was held. The board reviewed the proposed lots of safe and legal access. The board concluded that both proposed lots will have adequate greater than 50-foot frontage on town highway City Hall Road. The board contacted the town of Rochester highway supervisor who responded with no further comment. The parcel is in the R5 zoning district. Upon review, the board concludes that two proposed lots meet or exceed the bulk standards requirement of the R5 zoning district. The board reviewed the proposed lots for water septic. Proposed lot of plus or minus 8.48 acres has existing water and septic. The remaining lot of 52 acres is developed and managed by the New York State DEC. Any comments on the findings? Can I have a motion to adopt the findings?
So moved.
A second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Absent. Resolved, the town of Rochester Planning Board grants minor subdivision conditional final approval permitting the subdivision of lands at 216 City Hall Road, Bronx, New York. Subdivision plan dated June 29, 2020 is approved with following conditions. All fees to the town of Rochester involved in the application shall be paid in full prior to the chair's signature on the final plat. The applicant shall present a final plat for signature. The following plat notes shall be included. The plat is not capable of being subdivided further or is so restricted. Any and all development shall comply with 125-21 and 22 with specific attention to be to 125-22A, sections 4, 5, 7, and 8 regarding woodlands preservation. The planning board expressed a preference no development shall occur within the Ulster County Habitat Core area and that the remaining parcel of 52 acres remain within New York State DEC management. All required local, county, state, or federal permits shall be secured by the current and future users of these uses of these lands. Conditional final approval shall expire 180 days from this approval date unless the final plat is presented and signed by the chairman. This period may be extended for 2 additional 90-day periods upon application to and resolution by the town of Rochester Planning Board. Town of Rochester Planning Board further grants minor subdivision conditional final approval permitting the subdivision of land upon satisfactory completion of the conditions of approval 1 and 2, and grants the authority to the chairman to certify that the conditions have been met, review and sign and date the plat without further resolution at such time. Effects of approval. Owner shall file in the office of the Ulster County Clerk such approved plat bearing the chairman's signature and any other related documents within 62 days. Or such approval shall be deemed to expire without further notice in accordance with New York State Town Law 276. The owner shall have the responsibility to return 3 Ulster County Clerk certified copies of the final plat and any other related documents to Town of Rochester Planning Board within 30 days of filing. Any comments on the conditional final approval decision? We have a motion to,
I will make a motion to adopt the plan for signing.
not to adopt the findings, to adopt the decision. Yes. Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Same. All right, so you only have 1 plat note to add there, and you are good to go on this one.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next is Planning Board 2020-02, which is a minor subdivision again. This is RV Associates Incorporated, Shane Ricks, applicant and owner. It's to carve out a 4-acre proposed lot in the back of flag lot, making 20.65 acre lot. The one part will be down to 16.64, and then you'll have 4 acres in the back. The first lot was previously subdivided and will stay the same. It's in the business zoning district, it's in the AG3 agricultural district. Farmland is state right of importance, and prime farmland is the AP aquifer protection and floodplain development overlay districts and funds 209. I have a question regarding ag districts and this, but everybody have a look at it.
Yeah.
And it's ag district.
That's not the use.
Shane, do you have an agricultural assessment on this also, or is it just in the ag district?
No, it's just in a district. The land isn't even very good for farming. And a big part of the 4-acre piece that we're splitting off is woods.
And did you ever think of, when the time period comes up that you can get out of the ag district, getting out of it, or?
6 or 7 years away now. It was just done.
No, I know it was just done, but did you ever think of that? Or you just let it ride?
I never gave it any thought because it never affected anything that we did. And basically, all that's there right now is, the weeds grow up and I mow it down every year, the field part by the 209. But we have, that has not been farmed in probably 15, 20 years or more. And then it was such poor farming that they didn't want to do it anymore.
And we had a commentary from the Ulster County Planning Board. And they wanted to know, what are your plans for the rest of the plot? Because this is in the ag district and it is getting put up and subdivided.
The large piece, which sits out on 209, that big field area, is basically going to be put up for sale once I split this 4-acre piece off. And I wanted to do that because this 4-acre piece abuts my house up here, and I wanted to have some type of a buffer thing or another building lot there. So it's going to be put up for sale.
So the piece that you'll keep will be as one that wraps around the storage?
It's where the 4 acres is. No, the piece that wraps around is all part of the 16-acre piece that will remain. That's going to be sold.
You're going to keep the 16 acres. You said the front part. It's the whole front part that wraps around like a big
right. Yes. And I'm thinking, I don't know for sure, but possibly the people that own storage may be interested, being the piece wraps around them. They may want to buy it so nobody, builds in front of them.
Any other?
And the 4 acres is just a small piece towards my, towards where my home is.
We have a letter from Edenbach saying that it can support.
Yeah, there was 5 things the planning board wanted me to do. Put the data statement on, make a note for amended subdivision, remove the right of way. I met with the highway supervisor and he approved the driveway location.
And he had no,
And also a letter from the engineer that the 4 acres will support a septic. As far as I know, I checked with the secretary, she received everything.
yep. It's just, no, once everybody receives it, it seems to be disappearing off of, so if there's anything else, guys, I'd like to make a motion to type this as an unlisted, uncoordinated seeker. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, all in voting?
Carolyn Strong,
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Buckbinder,
Yes.
Mr. Sarowski,
Yes.
Mr. Pinsky.
Yes.
Ms. Maloney.
Yes.
All right, so let us go through this again. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of land? Small impact. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. The proposed action have an impact on environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area. That is an awkward sentence every time I say it. No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No or small. Proposed action causes increased use of energy and it failed to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will it impact existing public-private water supplies or public-private wastewater treatment? No. Will it impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? There's nothing around there, so no. Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, fauna? Will the proposed or small impact? Will the proposed action result in an increase in potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No or small. Will it create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No or small. Based on that, I would say the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and thus a negative declaration. Do I have a second? Roll call.
Carolyn Strong,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Jones, Mr. Buckbinder. Mr. Buckbinder?
You waving?
Eyes are closed.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Sarowski,
Yes.
Mr. Pinsky,
Yeah.
Ms. Maloney.
Yes.
All right, so we have a negative deck there. I will open it now for public hearing. From what we, there is nobody going to say anything. Since, Mike, can you double check that nobody turned up? We do not have any correspondence that came in on this.
You have nobody.
I will make a motion to close the public hearing. All in favor? Aye. Against? Abstain. I do not have a decision written up on this. We had no electricity. Time ran out. So we could, pardon? We have, you know, this is not discussion for right now, all right, really?
Do it at the
So
workshop
we can
meeting.
take this up at the workshop meeting also and do a decision at the workshop meeting. So Shane, we're gonna punt on the decision from 2 weeks from now. And at the workshop meeting, which starts at 6:30, you will have a decision.
Okay, is there any reason why it wouldn't be approved, so I know?
I don't see any difficulty at this point. We didn't have anything come from the public and you fulfilled everything.
Yeah, a couple neighbors called me when they got the letter. I explained what it was and they said, oh, that's fine, no problem. So,
Okay. So, public hearing is closed now anyway, so we will be zooming, so we don't have any more technical difficulties, all of us, on the 31st, okay?
okay, maybe you could put me on first and just get me over with then?
Both of them are short. You can have a nap. We'll see. It's been on the docket even longer, so he might go first.
What is the date of that then? The 24th, is it?
The 31st,
31st, okay,
Monday the 31st at 6:30.
okay. So that's not in 2 weeks then, right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, actually, yes. It's
3
always
weeks, okay.
the last day of every month,
Last month.
last Monday of every month. Thank you.
Okay. No, I just heard you say it was 2 weeks. That's why I was thinking the 24th, not the 31st.
Out of ourselves,
I
that's all.
was a little, I forgot how long a month August is. Sometimes it'll fall like a 2-week because of just the way the month falls, but you got an extra day in there, so.
Yeah, we have an extra Monday this month.
There's an extra Monday in there. All right,
Okay,
next on the docket.
all right.
Thanks, Shane.
Night,
Thank
Shane.
you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. 2020-06. Special use permit, the new application for the Sleeping Giant Ice Cream Company. And it is Robert Christian, who is the owner. It is the current Christian's flower shop.
Mr. Christian, I have you unmuted. Can you hear us?
I can, thank you.
It's Christiane, right?
It is.
Okay, Christian, thank you. So Mr. Christian's is the flower shop that is down toward the village of Brompton. And the proposal is to take the retail flower shop and greenhouses and convert it into a seasonal spring through fall neighborhood ice cream shop with a window exterior service, so no interior service, and outdoor seasonal seating. There's no new construction proposed. And the parcel is technically located on Sunset Drive in Kerhonkson in the Hamlet zoning district. And it could be within 500 feet of the historic register house. I did not find it on the historic register. There is an old house across the street within.
It's not on the
It's
register.
not on the register. I didn't think so. Okay. That resolves that. I was pretty sure it was not. You did a fantastic narrative. I wish I was at the ice cream stand right now instead of here the way this is going today. But do you want to run through your narrative briefly, what your plan is?
Sure, absolutely. The plan basically is to remove the glass greenhouse and convert that space into a parking area, and then remodel the existing building so that it would be appropriate for a neighborhood ice cream shop. At the same time, I want to be able to landscape the hill that is currently, it's not visible very much from 209. It's behind the glass greenhouse. So I'm hoping to accomplish that and make that pretty as well.
Anybody have any questions?
No, fine. Sounds good.
I wish they were all like this.
I'm sorry, I have a question. How would you decide parking spaces, how many parking spaces?
The parking spaces, I went through, Zorian, and now I cannot. What is the square footage again?
The square footage of what?
Of the existing retail.
Oh, 820 square feet. That's not counting the greenhouse.
I think it's gonna be walkable.
Let me just double check that so I make sure I'm telling you exactly right.
The whole thing is walk up, and if you look, there's ample number of parking spaces.
The greenhouse comes in.
Yeah.
We don't have anything.
The building itself is 36 by 24. I can think that's going to work out to 820.
I remember correctly my number. But basically we need to decide on number of tables.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
I don't think we decided the number of tables in his.
I heard something about
Yeah, I'm sorry. The
description.
The one we have, once again, on your Google Drive, shows tables. So the sketch that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables. So you have 13 parking spaces and 7 tables. That would be ample parking for somebody inside serving, making ice cream, whatever they're doing, and people sitting. This is,
Do we need the handicap mark on the site plan?
yes, well, at some point, we will probably have to have an official full site plan, but this is yet, he does not have to come with a site plan at this point. It's a sketch plan. So we will have to have the handicap parking marked with the little super handicap person on it. And we will also, we discussed this, we will also have to show where a dumpster location might be. And also any new lighting or any, whatever lighting you do, any pathway lighting, if it's solar, not solar, where the lighting is on the existing, retail shop that becomes now a ice cream store. And it would be helpful if there could be if there's anything, if you show where the walk-up window is on which side or sort of.
Okay, I think that's on the map. Is it that I? So I'm having a little trouble hearing you or understanding you, but for instance, if I think I heard a question about the dumpster, which I added to the map, and the windows and the awnings are on the building as well.
Hold on, we're seeing we have the latest proper map here.
The one for on the,
We got
on the
it.
Google Drive is today, but I don't see those things on it.
I got it. I got it. Sorry, we didn't have we got it.
There's the handicap
There's
parking,
handicap parking. There's your awnings.
dumpster.
Here's the entrance.
This is your entrance. You enter on
Okay.
Sunset Drive.
And you can all the same way.
Yep.
And the downstairs there.
Maureen, of course, I can't see it, so could,
Okay, so.
Yeah.
does it show the size of the parking spaces and does it show the signage?
There's no dimensions.
Yeah. And
Okay.
as well.
The dimensions are to scale.
So these dimensions are 10 by 20. They're to scale for the whole map. Because he could use this map. He doesn't need to do any more maps, guys. He doesn't need to do a site plan. He doesn't.
Where's the dumpster?
Well,
It is a site plan, exactly.
And sign. Use the sign.
well, there's an existing sign on.
You just use the existing sign, is that right? And just change the,
Well, yeah, I mean, I would change the sign for sure. Quite honestly, and none of that has really been decided until, I mean, I haven't done anything until I got permission from you.
okay.
But the plan is to basically use the existing sign location and size, but just update it, to reflect the new business.
Correct.
So, exactly.
On the field, on the field.
Like when you go past the Dollar General and the liquor store, you go across, there's a little bridge there, and then you start going up the hill, it's on your right-hand side.
No, I know it was a difference. I don't remember what the sign.
It's right there.
Right on the corner.
Right by the corner.
It's right by the corner. So since you're not changing a sign, which is a compliant sign, we don't have to rule on anything for the words on the sign. Did you send that to her? Okay. Mary Lou, she's trying to send it to you right now.
Oh, thank you, Brianna.
Okay, we're gonna be loading area.
That's the small attached accessory.
Part of the building.
part of the building.
And loading area for this.
I don't think I have a.
They don't have a loading area, it's an ice cream store. Yeah.
Front door.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have enough stuff, you don't need loading.
Does our, like, we've insisted on sidewalks in other places in the hamlet. This is obviously not connected or adjacent to any other commercial properties. It's also retrofitting an existing building, not new construction.
And
Does that come up for us at all?
Well, the entrance is not on
It's not on
209. And, I
The
mean.
sidewalk also can't cross that bridge
Can't cross the
currently.
bridge and I mean, it's really street, you know, the sidewalk that was,
No, I agree. I just wanted to make sure we like
Well-
talked about it for a second.
it'll be,
Thank you, Brianna.
we'll refer it to Ulster County Planning. I mean, it's not a site, it's the same thing that we had with the liquor store.
There's like a sidewalk to nowhere,
It's a sidewalk to nowhere, it's a
which is why
non-sidewalkable,
we curved it up.
right, a non-sidewalkable area. And you couldn't like even get to their piece of sidewalk because you'd have to go into the road on the culvert and then go back to a little piece of sidewalk to nowhere. So we-
Right. Yeah, you'd have to cross Sunset because there's very too steep of an incline on that part.
You just shot down mountain climbers.
Yeah, we could get them to build some stone steps.
Do some rappelling down the cliff.
Did you get it, Mary Lou, to have a look?
Yeah, you must not have heard me. I said thanks to Brianna. I do have it.
Where does the name Sleeping Giant come from?
Well, I was looking to find a name to relate it to the Shanga Mountains
Yeah.
here. And that geologically, it's a sleeping giant that had laid over on its side. So it also seemed to sort of sound like childhood adventure. So that's kind of where the name came from.
Yep, I got it right away. I remember my mother always pointing to it. So there's a sleeping giant, Mary Lou.
Very good.
So for this one, Mary Lou, I would say this is a type 2.
Yes.
Because you're really changing nothing.
Yeah, the building already exists. You're putting in parking, you're taking down a building. I mean, some parking's there already, I assume.
Yeah, there's already some parking. But this,
Putting more where the greenhouse was.
It's less than 4,000 square feet of change, so it's like,
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
all right, then I'm gonna make a motion to take this as a type 2. Have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Chair Winston,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Buckbinder,
Yes.
Mr. Sarowski,
Yes.
Mr. Pinsky,
Yes.
Ms. Maloney.
Yes.
So the only question I have remaining is, is on the lighting. I see the street light, you have that highlight there.
Okay.
Is there any
Parking lot.
new lighting you're not putting any new parking lot lighting in, right?
I'm not putting any parking light. I'm not adding any more lighting. I kind of sort of maybe considering some path lighting someplace, but I really don't think it's needed. And when I went to put it on the map, it seemed kind of unproductive in that I don't really anticipate needing it. And if I do need it, I'm really not sure where I would be putting it. So for the hours I intend to be open and the time of year I intend to be open between natural sunlight and the light that's already there. Plus, I'm not anxious to attract bugs. So Yeah, lighting would be down, there won't be any additional and
That's the answer. That's perfect. If there's no additional, you're showing the lighting that's existing and you're not adding any additional, then
exactly.
perfect. So guys, I would say this is sufficient. If we can somehow get it onto a computer and onto the Ulster County Planning Board submission, that we submit this to, because Ulster County Planning Board, we're gonna have to submit it to because it's.
Change in parking.
Exactly.
Increase in
Parking there. Who else did I have as a, historic home is done.
Because it's already.
It's, the access is on the town road.
The Cohasset Fire Department, not really changing anything there, do we? Mary Lou, we have to.
That's actually Accord.
Is that for it, really?
Yep,
Yeah, it is.
yep, Accord
Okay.
Fire District.
You know, we've had the discussion before. You're right around the corner from Cohasset, but you're,
Yeah.
you go to the farther away fire department.
Yep.
Mary Lou, besides Ulster County Planning Board, Accord Fire,
No, I mean, I suppose
the Highway Department,
the highway department maybe, just because you're gonna have a little bit more traffic there. I doubt it's a problem, but it's off of, keeping the same entrance. Up to you whether you think you need their input.
that's okay. We can send a letter out. So I'll make a motion to refer this to the Ulster County Planning Board, the Accord Fire Department, and the Town of Rochester Highway. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain. And I would also say we could probably set this for public hearing for
Yes.
our next meeting. So we had another motion to set this for public hearing for our next regularly scheduled September meeting.
14th.
September 14th, September 14th meeting. Do I have a second?
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Against? Abstain. All right, so we are set. You will have a public hearing. We'll send this off to the Ulster County Planning Board. And depending what the public says, and depending with our ability to master modern technology, hopefully we could have a decision next time.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
All righty. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good evening also.
Good evening.
Next, because what will we do without a year going by? Without Leslie owner and Blake Arrowwood applicant, planning board 20-20-034, a minor subdivision,
Is that Bill Eggers?
new application.
That's
Bill Eggers.
Hi, Bill Eggers.
Do I need to recuse myself? I'm sorry, Mary Lou, do I need to recuse myself because I'm on the border of it?
You
or no?
border, you don't have to as long as you disclose, but if you want to, that's,
You can, if you
I
want.
don't know, I want to follow the rules.
No, the rule is you just have to disclose it. But so it's up to you.
The only time you have to is if you have a financial interest in the property. If you don't feel good about something, you can always choose to, but the have to is if you have a financial interest.
Oh, because every time before that I had to recuse, it had nothing to do with financial interest.
But before you were on the board, you had spoken regarding the application. Do you remember that?
Right.
On the
Right.
events and on that. So that was a different situation because once you've done that, you can't. So this subdivision is something different.
Okay, then I'll just stay then if that's fine with everyone else.
All right, so it's the 48.5 acre lot that you should all have memorized by now. Lot 1 will be plus or minus 3.15 acres. Lot 2 will be the majority of it. It's 44.89 acres. Lot 1 is awkward. It has no direct frontage or access to a highway. Lot 2 will still have the single family dwelling and the brewery on it. And they both have existing well and septic, as you also well know. So as you know, our code states all lots shall have a front lot line with a minimum of 50 feet as a public or private onto a public or private road. So this needs 50 feet of frontage, or it needs a shared driveway, or it needs a private road, and then it becomes a subdivision, a major subdivision. So it has an existing entrance road, which is our driveway, which is the driveway that comes in to go to the brewery. So that could be a shared driveway. It's gonna need a lot of pull-offs. And it also needs to be shown as a driveway on the map. We don't have it as a driveway on the map, we just have a right of way.
Can I ask, which of the right of ways are they proposing to use to access? Because you got two of them.
I agree. Bill, which right of way are they proposing to use? Because there's no driveways in either one. They need one or the other, probably, not both.
So either the one off Mill Road or the one off Medica Homes.
Yeah, right.
There's two of them.
Mill Hook Road,
Yes, that would be the,
which one do they want to use? We don't do both of them.
they're proposing the primary driveway into the lot would be the one over Medicons, from Medicons Road, the one that comes into the brewery. So it'd be an extension of that where there's an existing farm lane going back there, and that would be the driveway.
If you want to do that, which makes a lot more sense as an access, then they should take that right of way off of the map on the other side.
Well, if the right of way is there, I mean, they can include it on the map, and they probably should.
But is it a right of way?
Yeah, I was confused about what that.
It's just land there now. There's no drive or anything.
Well, it says proposed right of way. Is there,
Are they gonna, well, then they need to do a driveway.
So there's an existing right of way, which is the entrance to the brewery.
Yeah, but it doesn't go.
And then there's no right of way, so I just assumed you put it as proposed right of way, because that's what he wanted to use for access to lot number one.
It's confusing because there is no records, like it's all one parcel now, so none of it's a right of way, because it's all one lot.
Exactly. So I guess our debate here is exactly what I thought. They gotta choose which came first, the chicken or the egg, one or the other,
And then
take the other one out. And if they want to do it from Lower Whitfield, they should take the other right of way out, unless he's gonna have two driveways going into his lot.
Yeah, they could have two, right?
You could have two but you need to show another drive then.
And you have to have the full offs and everything else.
Well, you could have a right of way that does not presently have a driveway. Like they could reserve,
it could be for development later if they want to. As long as they have a way in the other way, we don't need to see the driveway over that. I mean, if they don't.
All right, so it could just be left open as a,
open-ended right of way.
but then do they need there's no shared driveway agreement, there's no exonerating the town from having to, it's just a right of way over land with no documentation.
Right, well, the documentation is going to be that they have it on the map. But if they have another access, we're not concerned with that at this time. So so we have for lot 1 and lot 2. So we're going in past the brewery.
Yep.
Exactly. So it's a commercial and a single family combined. We don't have anything directly that says, usually subdivision is all single family homes and lots, but we say lot and, it says in the code, insufficient frontage with access via shared driveway. The planning board may grant a waiver for required lot frontage and other street requirements of this law upon written request and application by the developer to the planning board to permit a subdivision which would result in access to no more than 2 single-family dwellings or lots which do not have the required minimum lot frontage and are proposed to gain access from a shared driveway to the establishment of a right-of-way. The shared driveway shall be utilized by no more than a total of 3 single-family dwellings or lots, including the lot is access over. So there's really only 2 because the whole big thing is 1 lot.
Right.
And then you get to the other lot.
Not even a flag lot, you're creating a land.
You're creating an island. It's a,
So we need to have a shared driveway indicated. They need to request a waiver from the road fund requirement.
right.
And then the shared driveway would have to meet that's the shared driveway.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You get that, Bill?
I think so. I think I heard something about request a waiver for something.
Request a waiver for the lot frontage, the required lot frontage
On the road.
on the road, onto the road. to rent-
Okay.
A waiver from having the required road lot frontage. And access will alternatively be by a shared driveway. So the shared driveway needs to be drawn all the way through how it's gonna go into this lot number 1. Then we're going to have to need proof that they can have septic in this
Yeah.
lot number 1. And you're gonna need a bunch of pull-offs, which you already have, I think, at the front, because the driveway up into the brewery has been approved for the brewery. We already have that, so it's past where it goes to the brewery. We'll have to have the appropriate pull-offs. It's one heck of a long driveway. Yeah, every 500 feet.
500 feet.
Yep.
Well, it's Lower
Yes.
Whitfield,
Lower Whitfield.
which should be corrected on the site plan. It has-
Yeah, the site plan has Medicahonk / Lower Whitfield. It should just say Lower Whitfield. Or Whitfield, it should say
Either way,
Lower.
it's wrong.
It should say Lower Whitfield.
Wrong both ways.
And Mill Road also is wrong.
Yeah, and thank you. And the other one should be Mill Hook Road, not Mill Road.
We're in, I know you live on that road, but isn't that one of those ones that has like 6 different names?
Yeah.
I think that one is, like, I think it may say.
Actually, I think if you, depending on the direction you're going.
No, it's not. I know you live there, not me, but.
Then the other bugaboo with this one is, because you're changing, we have a lot that we approved a site plan, innumerable amendments to the site plan. We're going to need to, they're going to need to amend their site plan for the existing brewery
Yes.
/ because
To lower the acreage.
the acreage is different. It's a new
Okay.
site.
How does that happen in order of operation? Because there's sort of a pro forma amendment to the site plan. Because I don't.
We can do them simultaneously.
So would that be like, that would be a whole new application? Would we have to go through the normal review as if it was a new site plan or? is it
No,
just like
we've
an
done it
amendment
before
to
where
the
you
site
just
plan?
amend the site plan with the change.
Yes.
Lot line adjustment.
Right.
So it doesn't have to go through like public comment or all the new. like, We can just kind of look at it and be like, nothing's really affected by this.
Yeah, on that, Mary Lou, do we have to set it, well, we'll have a public hearing anyway for the subdivision.
Yeah, I have to look, Maureen, and I have to tell you, in some of my towns that I represent, you don't need a public hearing, but I just have to check the language of our
Okay,
thing. But we can't set the public hearing until we have the application anyway.
So
So
that-
after we get the application, or this one amended to include both, then we can determine what we need to do.
we need to do public hearing wise for the second.
Right, but as you say, we're gonna have one for the subdivision anyway. So it's not gonna add a long time to the process.
I mean, I would say that this, it doesn't really need to go to the highway department, or we can though, because the highway department's already approved pretty much the access part. previously, but we could send it to the fire department because it's one heck of a long driveway and we'll need a lot of pull-offs and amendments also to make it the proper substrate. So we're gonna need a lot of some driveway details. Because it doesn't have to be paved, but it's gonna have to be, you know, packed item number 4 or something all the way through. Because right now it terminates at the brewery, it doesn't go back.
There's a road there.
Right, which is about halfway there already.
Right, there is sort of a farm road going back there, but we need to see,
Yes.
you know,
And we have to make sure it's wide enough that it, you know, goes with all our specs.
exactly. And that would, this would be, so it would have to be what, 16 plus 2 and 2, is that correct? For, yes, for a minor, for a driveway and a minor.
Let me pull it up.
Well, actually, once it gets beyond the, just to kind of look at it a different way here, is it's only going to one residence once it splits off from the drive into the brewery. So if it's just one, serving just one residence back there, does it have to meet those level of standards?
Yeah, it's still considered a shared driveway and it still has to meet those standards. So minimum pavement width is 16 feet and minimum shoulder width is 2 feet. Minimum right of way is 50 feet.
Bill, what's the actual length from where it stopped, where it ends at the brewery to where the new property line is gonna be?
But it's almost the same distance with all those jobs in there.
Yeah, it's at least 600 feet.
Who gets to plow what?
About 1,100 feet.
11
Total.
You get a man for jogging.
It's 1,100 feet total, Bill, or is it 1,100 from the brewery?
From the split off for the brewery.
Oh, it's 1,100. That's long.
The kilometer of road. So that, I think that covers what we need for right now. So we'll need the amended site plan. We need more detailing on the mega driveway.
Yeah, it is 16 and 2 foot shoulder widths.
Yeah, it is 16, so I looked it up too, yeah.
Yep.
So I guess we'll wait until we get the next, before we send this out to anybody, let's get updated plans and then we can send it out. That sound right to everybody?
Yes.
Next month.
So next month, we'll get the updated plans and we have a look at it, send it out to everybody, and next month set it for public hearing. All right? All right, you're off the hook then, Mr. Egger.
Okay, thank you very much. Good night.
Night.
Good night, Bill.
All right, guys, the last on the docket is 2020-05 special use permit. It's a new application. It is for Konstantinos Mastrogiannis, if I did that one right. And Lumen Holdings. It's for a 2.5 MW megawatt, not kilowatt, utility scale solar farm. The parcel contains single-family dwellings and accessory structures with existing well and septic, there to remain. It also has fields and woodlands. The proposed use is partially within prime farmland at 48 Sampsonville Road.
Maren, I've got Peter McAuliffe, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, everyone.
Is,
Yep.
is Frank Ruffalo also with you?
Correct. Yeah. And then we have, I see John McDonough is on as
John
well.
McDonough is also with you? Okay, let me unmute everybody then, so.
So I have to say the first difficulty we had, but we never got another plan from you, so it was impossible to read. It was blurry.
Oh, okay, with the plan that was submitted?
Yeah, I can't read it at all.
But
Really?
even in the physical, was totally blurry, so you couldn't read any of the, you pretty much couldn't read all the schedules, definitely.
All the details.
Of the details. And then it's all, I mean, I hate to say this, but you need to go back to the drawing board and look at our 140-37 for solar. There's a lot more information that you need to include. The killer on it is, you have part of this in prime farmland. You're gonna need a use variance if you wanna keep part of it in prime farmland. So I can kick this right to the ZBA to see if you can get a use variance, or you change it and take panels out of the prime farmland.
Yeah, so, and I apologize about the site plan. But so the site plan itself, and this is something I was hoping to get feedback on tonight. You know, there is a portion, you know, probably about maybe an acre or so that is in the, you know, designated prime farmland. It is the section of the property that's actually the wooded area or the forested area. I wanted to get feedback if there was potential relief, because, you know, none of the property is being actively farmed right now. That small section that the array does slightly, you know, go into is wooded. So I wanted to just get feedback on, you may have answered the question from the get-go, but on if there was any sort of relief there, because, you know, one, it's not, none of the parcels being actively farmed, and the area, you know, I'm not an expert in prime farmland, but the area on the property that is designated as prime farmland, besides the very little sliver on the west side that we are pushed away from, is the wooded area. So I was hoping for some feedback if there was any relief there, because it's kind of an interesting or unique scenario where it's designated as prime farmland, but it is the wooded and forested area.
Yeah,
Well, your relief would have to come from the ZBA if they give you a variance.
yeah, and you know, it's actually not unique because the law was written to address the type of soil, not how that soil is being used at this time. So it is prime farmland, so it doesn't matter whether it's being used for agricultural means at this time. It matters
Yeah.
what type of soil it is.
I noticed that on the seeker, I believe it was the seeker, it said 15% of the farmland was prime. 15% of that lot was prime, which is a lot more than 1 acre.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a part of the, so I believe the wooded area, and again, I apologize about the maps. I don't know if Brianna's in the background there and has it in front of her, or I can send it to her and share it on the screen. So the parcel, it consists of a, you know, a fallow field that makes up, you know, about half of the parcel, and that's where the array is going to be 90%, you know, located in. And then the other half, or maybe it's not quite half, maybe it's 30-40%, is that wooded area that's designated as the prime farmland. So basically the entirety of the wooded area is the prime farmland, which probably makes up that 15% number you were talking about. And we're not, just to give a little background, we're using, you know, the total footprint is a little under 10 acres. You know, it is about a 20-acre lot. So, you know, we are staying away from the majority of that prime farmland. Again, you know, we are going into it a little bit, but I think that's where the majority of the 15% is located, is on that north side that the array is not touching.
Okay, so outside of the solar area.
I think it's all
Correct.
material. The portion, there's a portion of what you put on the map that we can make out. There's a portion that's in prime farmland. So it's immaterial whether it was being used as prime farmland or not. The fact is that it's designated. The planning board doesn't give exemptions to what it says in the code, what it says specifically. So the chair has indicated the first step is for you to go to the zoning board, and if they agree, they would give you a variance to that. If they don't agree, then you have to pare back your solar farm. That's the start.
I have a clarifying question. So I'm looking at the Ulster County parcel view map, and it says it's farmland of statewide importance, and I didn't actually go back to what the application said was prime farmland.
It is in there.
And I don't recall.
Harry loam.
My question is, just what does our code say? Does it say farmland of statewide importance and prime farmland?
No, prime.
So farmland of statewide importance is
But
not.
I know, but that isn't perfect. It is, if you look at it, oh, it does show prime.
It shows.
It shows
I looked it up. I specifically looked it up.
So if we're sort of like this, that, there's no more discussion that needs to be had, because you need to make a decision exactly what Rick said. We're sort of done.
But I want to ask you, you said the coverage of the pen only 10 acres, so can you just move it, what about the 20 acres?
Well, the first thing.
The whole back becomes prime.
Right.
Whole lot?
Yes, and in front, then you have people living there. So you-
Well, yeah, okay, I understand.
And our job is not to figure it out for them either. I mean, this application has so many things that need to be done if they get a variance. So I think you should think about it and go to the ZBA and see if you want to get a variance. And that's the end of it for tonight.
Yep. So we can talk about that. I'd love some feedback on the stuff in the application that's missing.
You know, if there's enough missing that you really need to take the code that we have and go page by page and see the things that are required and put them all in. But to do all the work of putting that all in is sort of putting the cart before the horse at this point, if you're not going to change the scale of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, you know, I apologize for the map. I apologize for submitting an incomplete application.
I mean,
I didn't.
I don't want to be sort of rude here, but I am being rude because we're a review committee. We're not a do the project for you committee. And so you should go through and look at all of the elements that we require, you know, for solar farms and add them in. Pretty clear and easy. Things like a decommissioning plan, a landscape plan, there's no driveway shown. The transformers are not far enough from the edge. Those things I can think of to begin with, but it's up to you to go through, read the code, and I would advise you to take some of this up, because at some point, for a solar issue, we will probably, I would feel comfortable asking for our planning consultant to come in and help us. And then it starts to get, you have to close escrow, and it starts to get expensive for you to have them review the document. So the more you have everything all organized, the less time they're going to tell you to go and keep fixing things.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, you know, apologize about that. But yeah, we will comb through it, and we will talk, you know, about the prime farmland question. So just to be clear, if we were to keep the site plan as is, that would go through the ZBA, correct? Which I assume, I don't know when their submittal deadline is for August, and then we come back in front of the planning board. I don't know if that's the route we go, if we could go simultaneously, you know, and again, we'll beef up the application, hit all the checkpoints that are required. If we go to the ZBA, if we could then do, you know, a full application or site plan review again at next month's meeting, congruently or simultaneously with the variance application being heard, if that's the possibility.
This first, and then when you're done with their process, you come back to us.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last thing on this incredibly smooth, technically proficient.
It actually works fairly well, truthfully, considering.
This is the first time in 2 years that we've had a huge solar output. Did they come in for a pre-meeting or something? Like, do they have, maybe I should ask Tim, is he still on? No. Do they have an expert on doing Large solar. Where
Glue? You mean a glue?
So there's solar people?
They called it last year, remember?
Yep.
Last summer, yeah, we
So they
had a
should know the
conference
drill.
call with,
You're still out on
They're
YouTube.
still on.
yeah,
Okay.
so they called.
All right, guys. The only other thing that I had was, you might have to phrase this better than I did, but it's the idea of giving me the authorization for incomplete or non-compliant applications that I could sort of review them and
Such a power grab.
this is exactly, this is what I said to Zorian when he asked about it. A, I don't like this idea because it's more work for me. B, I don't like this idea because it's more work for me. And C, I don't really like this idea because it's more work for me. And seriously, B, it puts too much power in. It's something we can do, and then you wouldn't spend time doing things like that. Maybe something to mull over.
I think the public interface
I agree.
of going through all these proposals is better, is a better way to do it.
I categorically agree. That takes care of that. I make a motion to close the meeting. No?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna make a motion to not do it. I was like, you don't have to do that.
I'll second that
All
one.
right, we're closed. Thanks, guys. It's all remote next time. Remote.
Worked out. I was